Hi, I'm Nikki from Chiefs Flutes and Flute Studio. I'm a music ed major here at FSU, and I want to be either a band director, a private flute studio teacher, um, a professor of ethnomusicology. I don't really know what, but I know I will be teaching and I know I will be doing music, and that is enough for me. Um, yeah, I am quite verbose also, so I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly. So I do appreciate your time. I don't have any past marching background besides this past year, but I did go to my high school band camp to get prepared for Chiefs preseasons. So I've done 2 preseason camps in the past year, and I think it gave me some really valuable insight with how to teach because I saw back to back how to teach different steps and how to interact and how to learn drill and things like that. So it gave me some really valuable insight, and I remember very vividly learning everything about marching band, everything about band in general. And I think that's going to be really helpful for me since I want to be a row leader and I want to show rookies how to learn things. I think I would be able to relate to them really well, and I'll remember the things that were difficult for me and be able to implement that. Um, as far as leadership experience goes, because I wasn't a band kid in high school, it just didn't work out. I was a competitive swimmer. I was a very active member in my Latin club. I was the active speaker for the speech and debate team. I was doing a lot of different clubs. I was Science Honor Society, Math Honor Society, which is Mu Alpha Theta. I did a million things, but because my academics were so fundamental to my identity, and they still are, I still love learning in all capacities. But I wasn't really as focused on music until I got serious about it, like senior year when I was preparing for auditions. I realized I didn't want to do anything but music for the rest of my life. So all of my leadership experience comes from being president of the National Latin Honor Society, being a speech captain. I taught weekly speech lessons through National Latin Honor Society. Our meetings were either social or educational. And so I organized a ton of social events and I organized a ton of meetings where we would learn. We learned about Proto-Indo-European and cuneiform, and we created our own cuneiform language. And I organized a museum virtual field trip, and we also went through 2 sponsor changes. And so I was able to foster a community through COVID and virtual connection while we didn't have a teacher assigned to our club. And so we were just trying to keep things going. And I found places, a band shell downtown, or a barn that we were able to use and keep things going, which I think is really valuable as a row leader because I've got a lot of experience welcoming people and recruiting, and it was successful enough that were able to have the clubs keep going, and I'm still in communication with their leadership, and they're doing pretty well. And that's definitely in part due to the community that we built and the friendships that we made, and just really focusing on supporting each other. Those are my strengths that I will bring to the team. I care so deeply about everything that I do. I see the best in things and in people, and I am willing to work very hard for people, especially for other people. Like I'm very service-minded and very service-oriented, and so I will give my full self, my full heart, and all of my energy every time. You get 110% of what I've got every day. And so that being said, leadership is, I really look up to Dr. Plack because he is very service oriented as well. And he focuses on building good people into good musicians, because musicianship is a skill, but being a good person is a choice. And I can definitely, he emphasizes that. And I really value that. So I look up to Dr. Plack. Our section did really well in building a community, but I think that we can build even deeper connections by having individual connections instead of just like, we have a group chat. We could also do things that bond non-bigs and littles to each other so that rookies really get to connect more with the vets, which I think didn't happen as much this season. Like, I bonded really well with my big and a couple of her friends, but I didn't bond with all of the section. And I would like to see that happen because everyone is so wonderful. And I admire everyone so much, but I don't really know everyone that well. So yeah, leadership by example is incredibly important. And because I can attest to that from my experience working at Chick-fil-A. I talked a little bit about that in my application, and I am out of time. So I appreciate the time that you guys have spent listening to this. I hope it gives you a little bit of insight to who I am. I just really love Chiefs, and I really love helping people, and I want to help the rookies experience how much of Chiefs I love, and all of the spirit that we have in the community that is here that's unmatched anywhere in anything else. So thank you so much for your time.